our super producer, Mike Jargo, man. So I was pumped that you guys got together today to do that. And I just want to say a big thank you and welcome my cousin, what is he, the 27th Prince? Yeah, I think he's the 27th Prince now after the last beheadings, to the fold here at Hamin Media, man. And thank you for doing that and coming back to join me to do this bullshit.
No problem. No problem. I'm glad you're feeling better, man. And hits everybody. I had the flu last year, I believe it was. Actually, I got the SmackDown flu the first episode. Remember we recorded with Russo?
Yeah,
I got
man.
so sick.
Yeah, I do.
Man, and when I hit you, it's there's just no, like, you just got to see it through.
Yeah, man, the fever. Just coming back from Bahamas, going to Canada, coming back, wearing myself down. And to be honest with you, I think it was some Planet Shit List fucking scumbags who were just over there not washing down their machines and shit, dude. And me not re-washing it beforehand, and spreading the shit around and went around up here big time. And I thought I avoided it, but it fucking gripped me hard Tuesday. And I just been crippled ever since. That aching shoulders, my feet couldn't get warm. I had 2 pairs of socks on in the heating pad and my fucking feet were freezing. I'm like, how is this even possible, man? So kind of broke on Wednesday, fever and whatnot. Now I'm just recuperating. I was able to eat solid food last night, but I'm down, Stevie, 6 pounds, baby, this week.
It's the flight to India diet.
That's it, man. I better have the cough fucking button here ready to go. Get my shit set up so I'm not coughing into the mic. Oh, shit on a shingle. Chris Kring, we're back, you guys, trying to get through with the Friday locker room. A lot of big news that we could not deny. So I said, Stevie, can you do it, brother? He said, Hacker, I think I can pull through one more. But here we are, not to bust the fans' balls too much, but I think I got 6, 7 messages this morning. Hamin, where's the Friday locker room? Oh, you're sick? Fuck you. Give me my podcast. Fuck you. Pay me. It's just straight up. Had a fire? Fuck you. Pay me. Oh, okay. But yeah, I see some heads in the chat room. Citizen Slim's got an hour drive ahead of him, so he says perfect timing there for us to crank this out. We're going to try and rip through it, you guys, because I don't know how long my voice is going to hold out. I just got it back. Dat sub with 100 bits cheered. And also hit me off at hackerhamin at gmail.com on PayPal for a 8x10 sign. So I got to get that to him. I figured I probably should wait until it's not a complete biohazard, handling it. And and I'll send it out to him next week. But, man, thanks for that. And somebody's upstairs. Stevie, can you vamp for just a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
So if people didn't know what he was talking about, I joined Jargo along with his cousin Jeff Sanders for, actually it's been hitting the playoffs now. It's hitting the Super Bowl podcast. Just dropped actually on hackerhamin.podbean.com. It will be up on my YouTube channel soon after this recording. I'm actually typing up the description right now until then. But it'll be up on YouTube. Just search Stevie Richards, and you'll find the Super Bowl preview that we did. A lot of fun. And actually, we're going to start covering the XFL as well. So Jeff is really psyched about that. And Jargo and I are sort of excited to have some football, but we're a little trepidatious since it's a sort of a WWE product in some way, form, or fashion. So, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back, man. Yeah, just garbage, man. I thought I heard the doorbell.
We're pretty excited about it, but Jargo and I are pretty trepidatious, and that's one of the press releases we'll be reading about, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. Crazy shit going on in WWE for sure right now. But yeah, to have him on, wealth of knowledge. That's his game. Football. He played middle linebacker, D linebacker for Hobart. He's faced a lot of guys who've gone on to the Giants and Bills and all that kind of shit. So he knows what it really takes to be a pro football player. It's been his life. And you're just going to get that same veteran locker room experience that you get from me and Stevie on that side. And Jargo's just an awesome super producer. He had that fucking show out in 25 minutes, dude. Awesome work. Couldn't ask for anything more from everybody here at Hamin Media Group, especially when I'm on vacation, and then to come back and drop the ball and be sick and watch everybody fill in and like check on me, man. It means the world to me to be like, wow, you don't realize the support system you got. until you have to rely on it. I try not to rely on having to abuse that, but everybody stepped up this week so much, so I just wanted to say thank you.
No problem, man. I mean, obviously Wednesday night we needed to take a little bit of a break because you were sick, and I think it's going to be a good opportunity that we've been discussing about kind of retooling the show, especially since it falls on a Wednesday night. It seems like going 2.5 hours plus or even past the 8 p.m. hour is kind of stupid when we lose 3/4 of the chat to AEW anyway.
Yeah, I mean, AEW is a hell of a show if you watch it this week.
Who had the better promos, AEW or NXT? Because I saw some of those NXT promos.
They're bad too.
I haven't par.
Okay.
How's that for saying something? What's that?
I just can't get over like how many things like and people are putting it over. Like I saw Jericho retweet Justin, credible, because Justin was taking flack for talking positive about the show, and Jericho's like, "Love you, bro. Fuck him," or whatever, right? Good brother shit, locker room shit, how it should be. So when Justin's taking heat, Chris isn't just sitting in the fucking back letting him take darts for him, Like people say, "Oh, you're politicking for a job." Well, guess what? Everybody in wrestling ever is politicking for a fucking job, except for Stevie. Like that's really it.
What's that say about me?
You're better than all of us. That's what it says to me. So whatever, to call him out and like these marks trying to fucking snitch tag, that was pretty fucking cool of Jericho to come out when he didn't need to do that kind of shit. Now, that being said, shout out to Justin Credible, Russo fan brother, and obviously ECW brother for you. I can't put over all the positivity of what I was seeing him put out in the first hour versus what I was watching, bro. Like, there's wanting to support the industry, but then there's got to be something of like, we got to have a little bit of standard here. Whatever that big swole match versus Nyla, whatever her name, Rose or whatever. Mm-hmm. Dude, I've worked indie shows where that would have been the worst match on the card. And fucking, then to go do the Cody thing where I'm smashing Triple H's legacy, but now I do everything that looks self-serving that Triple H does, and we can't even have a straight match with this other guy who's just an indie kick pad guy with this girl getting more shit in on him and confusing it, and the ref's getting heat on Arn, and the whole match is confused, but in the end he gets a clean win, and then there's a run-in, and like, what the fuck is going on? And then I don't mind the fact that they hired WCW production guys. It looks WCW, my opinion, not the look they should have, but it looks professional to some degree. The wrestling storylines, this just feels like kids playing wrestler in the backyard again, of like Moxley's promo of you got your group and your clique, and then, oh, we went and got some South Bronx essays to come on. Now it's 10-on-1. What are you going to do? And like, dude, it just feels so fourth grade wrestling when these guys were the cutting edge, coolest motherfuckers in the biz. Now they're doing paint by numbers 80s and early 90s bullshit instead of, it's even the simple things. Love them to death. Cherry and pepper, right? Whatever. Bunny, Butcher, and Blade. They want to get it over that they're a butcher or whatever. They're cutting bodies in the back of Satriali's meat store or whatever it's supposed to be. And there's a payoff, an envelope gets handed and turned over and says the Young Bucks on it. Dude, this feels like 1983 to me. What should she do? We close up on her phone. An alert goes off. $5,000 has been transferred to your Venmo. She fucking clicks it. We don't even know it's her. Clicks it, goes over and shows them while they're chopping meat, while they're chopping a leg, whatever it is. Get something prop to even look like that. And like, whatever, like, this is how you do show don't tell.
Oh, so what you're saying didn't happen?
No, it didn't. They handed him an envelope, flipped it over to the Young Bucks. They all stood in a line and cut the classic promo while they tried to look like they're in a back butcher shop or something. That's not the scene where you need that. That doesn't get anybody over. And this is where the Bucks, Cody, definitely Tony Khan, and whoever back there, they're green. They're still babies when it comes to knowing how to write for TV, how to book, how to say, okay, here's the idea we have for the scene, but let's craft it for TV. How do we make it look like a scene? How do we make it look different? How do we make it not look 1980s and early 90s? This first hour of this show, and then put another Britt Baker promo on there to get heat on Shivani. Like, what's the payoff there? Nobody runs in to stop
them.
They
did it again?
Again.
They did her killing Shivani on it. Now, unless Shivani smacks her in the face or punches her in the mouth, how's there a payoff?
I don't know.
I mean, just speaking of, and if that's wrong to say, like, when you are provoking somebody in wrestling, there used to be some sort of payoff, or somebody has to come to Shivani's aid. But for somebody who weighs 102 pounds, I think he'd be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I didn't watch it, but I did see the finish. I think the finish was Moxley kind of running in, like he was very slow getting into the ring with the baseball bat gimmick.
Yeah.
I
only watched like first hour and 15. I haven't seen the go home yet.
So going back to PJ, and I can see where he wants to see the positives in it, because we're talking about a company that's barely 6 months old on TV.
Yeah. October.
So he's trying to
4
see
months.
it as, because I bet people could have toured ECW could have never been a live show because it was an infomercial. There's no way that we could have. Most of the people didn't know how to work hard time. They didn't know how to do a lot of things that they probably have advantages to today. But I agree with you. When I watch, say, the Titantron videos, I watch the Pac promo where he's sitting near the fireplace back, it looks like in a castle. The presentation, or what I'm looking at is the identity of the company, is completely different. Then we go back to 1996 Nitro, when it's in the arena. Is that kind of what you're saying?
That's exactly it too. And then to go from the Britt Baker promo again, where it falls off, ends out with a fizzle. Then they cut to the Bucks backstage to put over the business that they got coming up. And it's here it is, 3 guys standing in a row with Omega, I think, right? And putting over another wrestling promo where they might as well be saying cowards and vengeance and I'll avenge, and these were the coolest fucking guys in wrestling who talked and ribbed and got over. They should be shitting on WWE every week. They should be ripping on other people, even on their own show, who aren't as good as them, to make people talk and whisper. You know what I mean? The only guy who's really getting it, in my whole opinion, in the whole company, dude, is Hangman Page. He's doing character with the beer, like a half Austin thing, hold my beer, whatever. He does a flip lariat, fucking lays the guy out, and nobody kicks out for it. He does a simple finish. He can hit on everybody, and it's on him to do the athletic shit, and he gets over with character. Everybody else is trying way too hard and missing the mark completely of who and what they are. You want to talk about politicking for a job, I'll say it. There's nobody they need more than us to sit down with everybody every pre-tape segment and go, love your idea, babe, but let me show you how to get max value out of you. Now give me that performance. Now let me turn you up here. Now, okay, that was the first good 2-3 takes. Now let's do this one. We got it here. None of that's going on. Even the lighting in that Young Bucks thing was so dim, it was like shot in a VFW hallway. You know, dude.
It literally could have been one that was off their YouTube channel.
I just don't get it, man. I don't get how you can go to TV with that.
Well, I want to say, first of all, like Russo says, when you're number one, you ignore number two. When you're number two, you throw everything you have at number one to show the holes in the product, which it's an easy target right now. Why they aren't doing every single week of attacking WWE, calling out other talent, talking about how much, you don't have to say NXT sucks because it's on at the same time. You don't want to push people to look into that, but you have plenty of stuff that happens on Friday and Monday nights. I feel like they don't think, because of the false positive, and that's a term we use all the time, but the false positive of their own fan base and not the real critical part, the casual fans that are ignoring them. They're looking at the people that are already paying attention, not the people that are ignoring them, how to get them to pay attention. And they're looking like I don't think they think they're number two. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody's telling them they're better. You and I don't look at those people. We look at the people that say, hey, you need to be more like Rogan, or you need to be more like this one, or they like, well, what do we got that's missing that we can go in that direction?
Yeah.
Not say, well, fuck you, because 5 people told us in the chat room that we're great. Right.
Pretty much, man. And they are believing that. I don't know if they're even believing it, because I feel like they know the performance isn't there, that they're just going through wrestling motions. Like there's nothing.
But dude, they're in a bubble of their own, in my opinion, in my speculation, my guess looking at it, since it's kind of gone laterally. Now the Page thing, now why weren't they doing this in the very beginning? It's almost like he's stale in a way because they made him just another wrestler. They beat him, and now they're finally giving him a character. It's kind of like vignettes after 10 years. I feel.
Here's how I feel.
One more thing
Go
about
ahead.
us.
Go ahead.
If we went in there, or if we gave them any kind of, like, look at Russo. Have they taken advantage of what Russo offered them multiple times? No. They probably they probably so many political hoops to jump through, or whoever's underneath Cody or whatever, it never got to them. That's just, once again, my guess. If we walked in there and told, I'm just guessing names, whatever, I'm not even going to say them, whoever, and said, hey man, you need to do this, this, and this, to be like, well, who the fuck are you? Like, I'm on TV, I'm getting 150 grand a year. My fans tell me I'm this on Twitter. You guys are just bitter because you never made it. How many matches did you win, Stevie Richards? These are things that they can discount. Doesn't matter if it's a stupid thing to say, but when they say, oh, you wrote for OVW, you've never been to WWE, they can think of any way, instead of really putting their own ego aside and just going and making a difference. Dude, we would tell them every segment, fucking attack Vince, mention the firefighters fund, mention the stock, mention all this shit. Talk about the hell that fucking part-time office workers like Triple H aren't drug tested. Do all that shit. Call them out.
100%. 100%. They just lost their president. They just lost, as we'll get into it, all of this, $200 million overnight. They lost double in value, double of what Tony Khan has invested into the full thing overnight.
Yeah. And that's what I have to say too, for everybody, for whatever he is, and I don't know the guy all that well, you got to give it to Bischoff. He fucking went at them with it's not taboo today, but back in 96, 97, to take finishes of your opposing promotion,
right?
To bury stuff, to go after, to call out Vince and want to fight him on a pay-per-view, knowing that he'll sell for it, thinking he wanted to go. Remember,
are you going to let Luke Harper go off on the mic and say fuck WWE and all that, or are you going to just have him come out and do big boots on the Dark Order and fucking I'm Big Daddy Cool? Like, that's what's going to happen.
There's Jack Swagger. You could have had that with him.
Well, here's where they're not doing anything real. So we bring out Jericho, and he even sounds like Dalton Castle. Bring out my boys, like he's taking Dalton's like whole thing right there, and here comes Swagger. What was the last big thing Swagger did in Bellator that we know about? What happened? Nut shots. Somebody should be busting his balls weekly, and then that's his whole thing, is fucking a knee in the balls on somebody. We're not. He just comes out to wear the t-shirt, do some phony punches, and like, that guy's a fucking made star, and he's a marginalized hitman in a 5-man crew where he's only 20% of the value when he should be one of your top guys, and no one can see that. How is that even not like one of the first things that are addressed?
I totally agree. I know we're jumping around, and this show really triggered you. I know when you were in the messenger and you said that. I didn't watch the highlights except for that last segment, which I have to say, they ended the show pretty hot. So okay. I'm still a fan of going off the air as it's happening. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why companies don't do that. Why do they put the period at the end? Why not, while the chaos is happening, leave on that high note? I still think about the days of the NWA and UWF way back in the day of, we got to go. You know what I mean? You're like, oh no, I can't wait to see what happens. And you play a cold open of that to open the next week. Mm-hmm. It's a very simple formula.
Brent Logan from Down Under says, do you think that's a millennial attitude? I don't know, man. Whether it's just not training to tell stories the full way, they're wrestlers who haven't been trained in acting and storytelling, and they have a lot on their plate. And unfortunately, what is going to draw people, they're slacking on their pimping on, and they need somebody with a bigger vision to protect them, and they need to get hands off. Here's the real shoot. AEW is nothing more than 2CW with Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes added to the roster, and for star power and draw with $100 million Tony Khan budget. 2CW used all of these guys and their whole roster, their entire roster, better than they've been used on TV. And what they don't have is Josh, Steve, me, and Jack Trades to take it out of their hands and just say, well, we know how to use you guys best. Here's what we want you to do. We know the crowd. You do this, you're going to get over. Instead, they have to come up with all that, and it's not hitting. There's too many holes in it for TV.
Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, they got their deal extended to 2023, and then you want to talk about potentially putting another hole in the boat. No cruise, pun intended, well, maybe a little bit. 2 shows now? That's very much a WCW thing, isn't it? Now you want 2 shows a week, which if you want to put the dark show on TV, now you're talking about if that stays formatted the way it is, 1 show where everybody's going to get over and the next show where it's going to be, why isn't anybody further in anything? Because that dark show is actually a really good show for being a recap show.
I don't want to hear anything until you go back and watch that big swole Nyla Rose match.
Now, I was going to say too, I think what's missing from the millennial type of going off Brett Logan's question in the chat, I think what's missing, because I remember the days, dude, I didn't understand it, but I kind of understand it like 10 years later, sometimes 20 years later, when I was an independent wrestler, and I am now too, when I was the first time, and I would do something wrong, whether it was in the ring or outside the ring. There was some veteran that had been with all the companies who was coming through the indies before he went back to one of the companies to fucking put me in my place and put the finger in my face and get this close to me and tell me what a stupid fuck I am. And sometimes not even explain why I'm a stupid fuck. And I'd realize after a while, oh shit, that's what he meant. Or he'd explain it to me. Do you think that's what's missing? Because we say the theme of false positives.
Well, that's what you said.
Tell you how great you are.
Would they listen to you? And if they wanted to promo me and go, who are you? What do you know? I make 150 grand. I go, well, let's take a look at your promo and you can fucking see who you are. And this is a C-level 7th grade performance. I'm a 30-year actor. You want to learn the right way, and you want me to pull a better performance out of you, or you want to keep going out there having one of the shittiest segments on the show? Choice is yours. Oh, you want that? Have a good day. Or we can I don't fucking bow down to some shindy workers who got a contract ever.
Yeah, I would say we got to show this to Tony Khan's dad and see if we can get some of that money back.
Yeah. Right.
Or I'm making 300 grand to tell you how to fucking do this shit. That would have to be the thing. And
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Cody hasn't hired Al, because nobody took better care of Cody than Al or Spears.
Al,
yeah. Al knows how to write for him. He knows his strengths. He should be booking all of his stuff.
Al should be consulting from Ohio. There's no way he can go on the road with everything he's got going on.
No, he's got too much going on. But there's your pipeline of more supporters with OVW.
I'll tell you who they're gonna end up hiring eventually. I have no doubt. As an on-air talent, Bischoff.
Really, I think so.
I think, dude, if it was presented the right way, he's got a real bone to pick because he was just there working for Fox and what happened to him. And if you really wanted to try it, like if they gave him carte blanche to be on TV and do the things that he did in WCW, he would, first of all, garner real heat because he would be the authority figure that would be a heel presence on the talent. But he's still giving the middle finger to WWE, and it's real. You moved my family from Wyoming and this and that, and I fell for it. You got me, Vince. I got to respect. Like, really talking about this, at least to be something.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I'm saying. As much as we've said wrestling needs to be reality and outside the bubble, dude, I'm more shocked that the guys who were the coolest, fuck you guys of the industry who got over ribbing the biz are now in a even bigger wrestling bubble. I don't know how that happens, bro. I don't know. Because everything just feels like 1991 when I watched it. It was not cool. There was nothing cool on it.
Do you go back to your theory that they're doing everything and spread themselves so thin
100%.
while protecting those spots that maybe it's wrestling. I mean, it's cutthroat. You got people in there with a little bit more experience that might be pulling Tony Khan aside and saying, hey, man, do you think these guys are the right ones in the right spots? Or everybody's always angling. And Khan's, in my opinion, stupid for putting himself in those positions by going to the after show parties or pay-per-view parties or birthday parties. He needs to separate himself a little bit too.
100%. You can't be out there, dude.
And come hang out with us.
Yeah.
We promise. We promise we won't politic.
I promise I won't hit you with a stunner. Where is this shit? There it is.
Are you talking about the press releases?
Yeah. I just gotta scroll back up. From @Chris Van Vliet.
Here you go.
That might leave a mark. I shot a video and some interviews at Flatbacks Tea tonight. And at the end of the class, Sean Spears and Gorgeous had their students line up and chop me, followed by chops from Spears and Breeze. Yep, it's as painful as it looks. You can hop over to Chris Van Vliet's Twitter. Check out his blistered chest, bloodied and, all bruised up after standing in line for the entire Flatbacks Tea students to run a train on him. You want to go ahead, and then I'll come in with what I think.
I remember the first battle royal I was in 1991. Yes, last century, ladies and gentlemen. And not smartened up, and a different time. The guys that were maliciously fucking with me, not trying to hurt me, but roughing me up for their own personal enjoyment. Chops upon chops upon chops. And I'm talking about you got your indie stars that they're big stars around the Philadelphia area or whatever, but they've never been on TV, but big fish in a very small pond.
Sure.
And they took advantage of me and chopped me and all that stuff and everything. And I came back, I no-salted, and just people still talk about it that I see. They're like, oh, remember in a battle royal and you got fucked up, chopped like 54 times in a battle royal before they threw you out, and all that stuff. The segment or the segue to that is I was actually in the business and working, and they were breaking me in. As stupid as it was or as mean as it was, I was still in the business, and I wasn't expecting it. Like, it wasn't my red badge of honor that I went around showing everybody I got. If anything, I was ashamed because I knew I was taken advantage of. Point being, this guy gets all these great interviews, sits down with Ryback, with Chris Benoit's kid, all these high-level kind of things that are hard for even us to get, right? So I think he got Cody. I think he got Jericho. He's gotten a bunch of guys.
He's the AEW, outside news magazine guy who links them to the MMA UFC world as well.
My question is, don't you think this hurts him moving forward to anybody that sees that?
100%, man. This never gets over. This exposes him as a complete and total mark. He says that might leave a mark. I wanted to put that might be a mark because that shit is never going to get you over with the boys. And I'm actually like a little bit wow that Breeze and Spears would be posing in this picture, pointing to him like it was over. Because what happened to you, 1991, in a match, not at a school where you stand in the corner and everybody lines up and gets their shit in on you so you can act like, see, I could take it too, guys, and I'm official now. The exact opposite happened. As soon as even the students, as soon as everybody got in their car, they fucking looked at each other and went, what a fucking mark, bro. Can you fucking believe that, idiot? Dude, this is how the $5 face slap was born. When I seen fat bitch-titted fucking marks at a 2CW show taking their shirts off after so Davey and fucking Eddie could chop the shit out of them. This is even worse than that because those kids didn't stand in there to get a train run on them. So
do you think they really were smart enough to say this guy's a mark? We just talked about the millennial bubble.
Maybe. I think like here's what I was gonna say with Breeze and Spears. They know that shit is wrong. Danny Cage retweeted. He said I hated this. I retweeted and shaking my head. Forget about trial by fire, paying your dues and whatnot. I got double chicken winged, had my shirt ripped off, and Von Lilas chopped me 3 times, broke the blood vessels in my chest in a match in fucking Charlestown, Indiana. Not just in class to beat the shit out of somebody, dude. This is a work. You take care of people. You don't hurt them, trial by fire. This didn't make Chris Van Vliet. This just made him way less credible in everybody in wrestling's mind, dude. So he lost so much credibility with me today alone on this that he's a mark for wrestling that big. Now, do you remember this scandal, especially during the hazing time with the Air Force and shit where they had the pins and they drive them into the guy's chest? Like guys would get pinned in the Air Force and that.
Yeah.
Dude, how is this any different than that 20 years later after that was looked down upon, especially from your SJW, AEW, no bullying or whatever the fuck kind of going on, and Tyler Breeze, a soft-ass character in WWE, posing with an AEW guy. You think the heat's not going to rain down on you? Everybody here is stupid.
Yeah. But I think what those two guys saw was the fact that that guy gets views, he gets traction on social media, he gets the vanity metrics, which could convert what his audience is, which is the AEW marks or neck beers, whatever you want to call them. What do you call them? The
Team Sticky Hands.
Well, it's a new one.
Yeah.
I meant the tape trader masturbator.
I like that one too. Yeah.
But you got to think of one of the ones with the guys with the belts on their shoulder. You get a little rhyme going with that. But no belts in hell. How's that?
The something champions.
But what they see that as a way to sell somebody to come to their wrestling school.
Would you want to go there and fucking have?
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the fact that they did anything with this Chris Van Pelt guy puts their name in there, even if it's stupid or even if it's negative. There's retweets and comments,
sure,
and whatever else up there.
No such thing as bad press.
The bigger story is the heat that will come down on Tyler Breeze. Like they've opened the school together, which remember we talked about, like, hey, how's that going to look, especially on the WWE side on Tyler Breeze's? Like he's not exactly figured in. I didn't even know he was still with the company. So if we don't know he's with the company, what's it mean to just, you're gone? And is he going to get hired by AEW? Because there's a certain political struggle going on when it comes to Spears getting hired too. So if you have a wrestling school with two guys that are no longer on TV, or one guy's getting buried and one guy's not on TV, one guy's getting stunned by the owner in the fucking off-camera party to do marks. I'm talking about marks where wins and losses count.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to go to your wrestling school?
Do you want marks in your wrestling school?
That's why we didn't open up a wrestling school,
there
man, because I want to do it the right way. But the balance sheet just cares about, are you in the black or in the red?
Yeah. Rip
how many
Rip
people
has
sell people on dreams that they know they have no possible way of fulfilling.
Rip has six people in his class maybe that can probably get signed at any time at OVW because they're that good. And then there might be a dozen. There's no way. You're going to be feeder at OVW. You came to maybe play wrestler and you wanted to get to WWE, but the reality is this is as far as you're going to go. That's fine. You can learn the craft and be a great regional wrestler and fucking tour the indies if you got the heart to do it and the stones to do it. But there's so many great characters out of OVW that never should have been anything in the ring, but because we did character work with them, they became OVW legends along that way. So there's always going to be 60% of every wrestling school that doesn't fucking even belong in the ring, but that's why it's a wrestling school, because they want to live out their dreams. They have their money to do their weekend warrior stuff, and you got to stay in the black, and you need feeder guys for your real talent that has a chance to get signed, which is what makes your school credible if you can get somebody signed out of your school. So there's going to be that pecking order everywhere. And I'm not trying to shit on people who will never have a chance of getting the WWE. Doesn't mean you can't still be something awesome, but just don't be a fucking mark in the locker room. Or if you show up as one, try and transition out of that as quickly as possible. But this shit, I can't justify it. It just looks fun. It's a terrible look for everybody, in my opinion, man. And this hazing thing with the don't be a bully and that shit, I could see that really coming down with some bad press in the next 24, 48 hours.
It just proves, though, that you're talking about this bullying culture or SJW cancel culture and not having hazing. This is very double standard and subjective now.
Yeah.
Is why isn't anybody coming down on Breeze or Spears? Or because I guarantee you, if it was Billy Gunn, because he's one of the old school guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying that anyone is any better or worse that I just mentioned. That's like saying if Sal leaned on somebody in the ring, it's like, oh, you're one of those old ECW guys. It's not like this anymore. Now you got two guys from the current generation doing the same thing.
Right.
And two good guys. So yeah. They're good guys, but you're right. This is not you weighed the brother look as opposed to the reality of business look.
100%.
And you have to live with the decision.
Steve Austin spoke about how Rated R Superstar making a surprise return and how happy he was to see him wrestling. And oh man, it's great to see Edge back. And man, when they hit his music and he came out, it blew the roof off the place, Austin recalled. That was the loudest pop of the night. Yeah, just an explosion. People were excited to see Edge back, and when you could really see the emotion on his face, he was thrilled to be back and thrilled to blow the roof off the place. When you've been gone for so long, you come back, and then people aren't expecting you, and they blow you away, and it's immediate appreciation. It's a real confidence booster. Austin continues, it's very exciting to see him. I wish him the best. I hope that his neck holds up. It will be interesting to see stylistically what he'll change. Doesn't seem like much. It seems like he was leading with the shoulder a little more with his spears, kind of protecting himself, and he was taking some good bumps as well. He says, no, whatever Edge is doing has nothing to do with me. This is about him coming back. Based off of Edge's return. He says, whatever Edge is doing has nothing to do with me. I'm done. I've already said I'm done, and I wish that dude all the luck in the world when I see a guy who's had similar kind of neck situation as I had, or just neck surgery in general, and to leave the pro wrestling business when he did 9 years ago and come back. I think I'm like, man, okay, be careful out there. Stevie, what the fuck do you know about neck surgeries?
I have no idea. I wonder what all this is about.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what will make your neck feel really temporarily better or heal instantly.
Heroin.
$3 million a year for 3 years, 25 appearances per year, 5 matches per year.
Feeling good.
Yeah, but 5 matches per year means you have 5 times more of a likelihood of something going wrong with your neck. 25 appearances means a minimum of 25 flights, hotel rooms, rental cars,
50
tour bus, but
50,
still.
right?
Well, 50 back and forth. Yeah.
Right.
And dude, I'm telling you right now, I know that place. Brock doesn't, and Edge might not fall for it. But if they bring you back for 25, they'll be like, oh, come on. I mean, you got so over. We need you for 30. You're drawing good ratings. How about 35, maybe 40? Then you got the extra money, but now you have to weigh. All right, now I'm on the road. Now it's 80 trips, 80 round trips. How's my neck going? They want 10 matches now. You sure I'm making $5 million a year, but now you just up the. You got to. I'm sure he's smart enough when he looked at that. He said, "Okay, this is how many matches I can have. This is how much time I need to recover between these matches." Also, does that count the Saudi match? Because he can make an extra couple million in one night in Saudi Arabia.
Me too. If you do the right assassination, I guess.
No.
Yeah, man.
Split it 15 ways, though.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That Wu-Tang split's a motherfucker. Yeah, man, when it comes to this shit, I don't like what I've seen already on guys grabbing Daniel Bryan by the fucking head and doing shit to him. Guys throwing a headlock on Edge, throwing punches to the head, dude. You've got all this other shit you can work heat on. Why do you need to, like, and why are these veterans who know so much allowing that to happen? I can't understand it. To watch the marks go crazy last week for his return and cry, I'm just like, wow. My Edge experience was pretty awesome. He came with Rhino to 2CW, and we sat in the back and talked atheism, UFOs, and Christopher Hitchens for about an hour and a half. Now that's the fucking shit I want to hear and talk about. Like, where that's the dude I want to see, not the nostalgia throwback Matt Hardy. This shit where they're putting his body on the line for a quick nostalgia pop that's gonna fizzle on the vine within the next 70 days, man. And he's gonna be in there with somebody who does something that's gonna be unsafe and puts him at risk, unfortunately. And to not follow up with Beth on Monday night, dude, after all of that color in the Rumble, dude. There's just more and more missed holes in everything. We talked about this on Russo Brand, how they didn't follow up with Keith Lee in the Brock segment, and just like, dude, she looks like Red Rooster with as much red as she had in her fucking hair. Why wouldn't you have him, those two together in a sit down afterwards? Like, that's what people want to see. They can't even get the basics done.
Well, even the Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar segment in the Rumble, it used to be when you looked at something like that, you'd be like, holy shit, we need to figure out a way to do more with this. And now it's just like, that's a good moment. But it's written a year ahead of time. So they wrote Beth getting busted open a year ahead of time. So, they didn't have anything after that because they don't want to go and stray from the plan.
God damn.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Gotta do. Sorry. Fans even hit me up. Hey, Hamin, is locker room up today?
Well, they miss you.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it, man. I'm just like, holy shit, check my Twitter, bro.
So here's the way the boys think. What do you think someone like Daniel Bryan's thinking? It's like, he got $3 million. like I came back and, dude, this is the thing, though. Who looks more special? Daniel Bryan came back.
Yeah.
He came back from all that stuff. And I'm sure at the time he was like, wow, they're paying me pretty well to wrestle and they need me. And that's great. Turns heel, somehow gets himself more over as a heel where they can really draw with him. And then they just completely fizzle him out after that. That's the pattern. Like, you might just be getting behind it like we were, like, oh, this fucking heel gimmick is really good. But Vince sees him every day or deals with him 12 hours during TV and says, man, this shit's getting old. And that's the misperspective of time, the wrong perspective of how long he's really been doing it. It's bad, dude. It's bad. They need outside influences too. They need, dare I said, I would say, dude, why doesn't USA and Fox have legitimate, like, creative people on their team and take it out of WWE's hands? Now you're writing a TV show with actual actors, producers. Vince is the figure. Why is this the only company where the company has?
I'd like to put that over, but think about the producers that we've interacted with in the last 4 years.
No, I'm talking about wrestling. I'm talking about wrestling producers that already exist.
Oh yeah, okay. That I'd be down with.
Take it out of their hands, and you give them the script, and they delay, and it's executed the way it was written.
I'm a wrestling producer that already exists. Promo of the week.
Sam Roberts. They were warning you up front. I keep telling you, he's not friendly and he doesn't like people, Sam. So make your questions good. Brock, what's the haps? Oh, God. The what? Haps? That's the first of two questions. What's your second one? What's the haps? Yeah. What does that mean? It's like a thing, like Paul says that he invented it sometimes. It's like, what's the haps, I don't know, man. You don't. If you had the opportunity, would you like to face Conor McGregor in a WWE ring? Man, I take shits bigger than that kid, all right? Come on, guys. I know you guys all play fucking video games and you're living this fucking false sense of reality and shit. I'm 290 pounds. All right, this guy's 145 pounds. That's if he's lucky and gets up and eats his fucking Wheaties, okay? All right, if Conor McGregor wants to say some shit to me and get his name out there more than he already has by dropping my name, I got fucking about 10 words for him. Come here face to face, Connor, all right, and say it to my face. Otherwise, leave me and the fucking WWE out of it, because I came to your arena and kicked ass. Now, if you want, and if you're so fucking tough, come to our arena and try to kick some ass. Get the fuck out of here.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Paul.
You were great. That was the best interview you ever conducted.
I don't know how these fucking marks keep getting in the locker room, dude.
I wouldn't even have answered his question. I would have stopped with that and said, you get the fuck out of here. That would have told a lot more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying the quick thing about Connor and just be like, the whole thing about the video games, then get the fuck out of here. Didn't even give an answer. Doesn't deserve it. If that's a shtick, it's not very good.
No, I mean, that's just Sam Roberts, a little unathletic mark that's been that way, who for some reason got over. I don't find him funny. I don't think his radio stuff's ever been good. He just hitches wagging other people, and for some reason has gotten over in his own mind. Whether it's the Krusty the Clown hair or whatever it is.
No, but what I mean is like how can they look that comfortable approaching a guy like that? That's what you're talking about, right? Like laughing.
Yeah.
Like the minute he goes, "What did you say?" He should have been like, "Oh shit." But no, you're right. They're way too comfortable.
Way too comfortable, bro. And I like that that's what I want from Brock right there. What the fuck did you say to me, dude? I'll end you right here. Like, you think this shit is a joke? Like, he needs to intimidate Sam on camera to really make him shit his pants like he's going to fucking die right now. And that's not Sam selling. That's Brock really putting the fear of politics and pain in his fucking eyes in a second. Like, otherwise, Sam Roberts, he should be gone too. Gone. These are the names that have ruined the credibility of wrestling, bro.
Well, the thing too is like Brock, even if I said something wrong or you said something wrong, I was like, oh shit, well, is he pissed? He's like smirking at him, like, I know this is fair. Oh, you're cutting up.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I gotta keep going back to that, but before my time, not so I was crossing into an era like this. They would have jacked the motherfucker up like that, grabbed him, shook him up, slapped him, like, because you're protecting business.
Take
like
his phone and stomp it.
That exposed Brock in a bad way by not beating his ass. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So you probably shouldn't do that shit anymore.
Nope. You shouldn't send Bailey out to talk about shit on interviews either when it comes to unions. That's a bad look.
WWE. Oh, no, we prefer. No. We like riding 8 deep and sleeping on top of each other in a fucking Motel 6. It's fun.
Yep. What's the haps?
These silly unions.
What's the fucking haps? WWE NXT commentator Mauro Ranallo recently spoke to TSN 1040 where he opened up about Corey Graves' situation and leaving social media. He says it was a blessing in disguise. I've really nothing to say about Corey Graves or anyone else in my professional existence, in the sense that everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everyone's able to critique everyone the way they would. I would never do something like that to a coworker, but that's been addressed. And if anything, I even publicly thank Corey Graves because he was the straw that broke the proverbial back in the terms of social media activity. And I will say here and now, I have deactivated all of my social media since November, and I would implore everyone, especially those with mental health issues. Social media is so dangerous to those with mental health issues. Sorry, I lost my spot. And conditions. And I know in media, in our everyday lives, people are now being hired and fired by the social media filings or the amount of information they post or how popular they are. Ronaldo stated, well, it's nice that we own our own companies and aren't succumb to any of that shit. But yeah, man, here's a high road statement after some low road politics plucks this guy's strings again. And Corey Graves don't look too good in my book.
Well, I'll interpret or translate what Mauro was saying in the beginning. Fuck you, Corey Graves.
Mm-hmm.
Go to hell. Go fuck yourself. And good on you, Mauro. If I had your contact information, I would text you or call you and tell you that's exactly what everybody who has anything to do like with what we're doing would really prefer to do. Social media is a disease. Mike Haas said it on Facebook. Of course, it's on Facebook, but it's a disease. It is the disease. And it's just such once again, we stay with the theme of false positives. I believe social media is the reason why there's no real discussion about how to make this business better, how to make a TV product better, how to make these companies better, or how to make anything better in general. Because everybody can be heard. And that's the thing. Everybody has a voice. Everybody talks. Nothing gets done. So good on Morrow for doing that. The Corey Graves part of it is like, what has been his motivation to, I mean, if he's playing a heel, he's doing a pretty good job from what we hear that people are selling for it backstage, the boys, not the fans.
I mean, what do we know? Cheated on his wife with what, Carmella or whoever, and fucked that over. 2 times he's gone after this guy who's easy target. And Stooge report is that he won't help get his brother hired because he might be a liability too and doesn't want to lose his spot. Sounds like the perfect people for wrestling.
Who's his brother?
Some indie worker out west who, Vince worked with and put him over huge. Said he's a fucking great talent. And he said, why aren't you signed? He goes, too much heat for my brother to put me over.
Well, I tell him this because I remember when the whole thing went down with Bradshaw and Morrow. The one person that I probably would worry about that's really good friends with Morrow and loves him like a brother is Boss Rutan.
That's true.
If you get on Boss's radar,
yeah,
you're in fucking trouble.
He'll walk you right down, bro. He'll walk you right down wherever the fuck you are and question you on it. Then what are you going to do?
Yeah, and any I mean, I would say there's probably a lot of MMA fighters,
Josh Barnett,
Shamrock, other guys that are really protective of Morrow. So you don't want to do that. I mean, for all we know, it could be like Conor McGregor likes him, or this guy likes him, and you have boxers that like him. I mean, geez, what are you doing?
Be a star.
He's a nice guy, from my understanding. He has some stuff that's a little bit more on the surface than we would be comfortable admitting to, and he brings a great deal of like light to mental health or mental illness.
Yeah.
And you're going to make fun of it. That's such a, I don't know. That to me, that's almost a fireable offense.
I would agree.
That just proves of the insensitive nature and the out of touch or lack of awareness of the entire company that they let that go on with the be a star stuff.
Now
that
they
were so connected to.
Double that up with fucking hazing chops this week. It's all fucking.
I would dare say this is worse.
Oh
That's
yeah,
an idiotic
sure.
thing, but this, so whatever it is, I mean, can't really say much else. I'm glad that Morrow still stayed within the company and carved out his niche, and he's allowed to work in NXT. And Hunter saw him as somebody that could get the product over. So he just didn't go away and go back to MMA and boxing, which in a way, I think he'd probably be better off because no one calls these MMA or boxing events better than Morrow.
No, he adds that level of excitement that JR added in the 90s in his own way, and that Joey Styles added to ECW. That's what he is. He can carry a whole show by himself. He doesn't need co-hosts. His personality's that big. And at the bottom of it, I think that's why Graves does that, because he knows he wanted to be a wrestler, didn't work out. He's got this, and he's on the road a ton, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have it like that. And it's just an easy, cheap shot with some Twitter thumbs at 2 a.m. Stupid decision and exposing of the character that really lies inside you.
What's the initial thing? Was he was saying he was stepping all over Nigel and the other guy?
Yeah, and he goes, it's like everybody puts over Ronaldo, but we got a former ROH champion and a women's Hall of Famer out there. Well, that's fine. Beth's career has been awesome. She's done a lot, but she's not an on-the-mic play-by-play person. If you're listening to Nigel, his accent is hard to understand half the time and not really that enjoyable to listen to Calling Action unless you're from the UK. So who else do we want to listen to?
Morrow's the one guy outside of Joey that could call an entire show himself.
Yeah.
So those two people, as good as they might have been at what they've done and as good as they are on commentary, they're not essential. So that's, you know what I mean? And maybe Corey Graves sees that as something, hey, you can read off and leave. It's funny. Morrow's got to be, 40, maybe 45?
Probably, yeah.
Yet he sounds younger than the 20-somethings and 30-somethings that commentate WWE.
Well,
You sound like 60-year-old men. And
he's
women.
got a real voice too. Not that you and I don't. We're trying to.
I wish I had his voice.
I know.
Man, I'd be killing it in voiceover.
I mean, Big Ray's got it too. I mean, you listen to Big Ray do the opening drops on all these Hamin shows, dude. I mean, Big Ray could have. His dad was a wrestler. He's as big as fucking I am, man. He's a big motherfucker. But when it comes to that chocolate rain delivery and the voice, Ray's got it, like Mauro Ranallo does, you know. And I hope he gets there too with it, because Ray busts his fucking ass around here, man. Check out the NFO podcast and SmackDown Attack with him and CY and the Pro Wrestling Reflection. Ray's working on all those, man, all the time.
Speaking like Oscar there.
Sorry, reflection. WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart has announced that he is set to undergo surgery to remove a basal cell carcinoma, which is a form of skin cancer. This is the second time he's had to battle this disease after being diagnosed with prostate cancer back in 2016. Since retiring from the ring, Hitman had dealt with a number of health scares. And another moment taking place in 2002 when he suffered a stroke after a bicycle accident. Hart actually suffered total paralysis on the left side of his body, but was thankfully able to recover from it. Bret took the time to remind everyone to wear more sunscreen and that people should be getting health checks regularly. It was just on his shoulder. Looks like they removed it 2 stitches. So hopefully, does that. But you and I talked even on Russo Brand this week about hitting that tanning bed, and you said none of them are great for you, but do the stand-up instead of the lay-down, because that direct contact with those UV lights, a lot of guys would get those little carcinomas on their back because of how close it was.
It's kind of funny the timing of the story, because immediately when we started talking about it, because I got back from tanning, and it used to be when I tanned, and I lived in Florida too, so I was outdoors more than I was actually in any sort of tanning salon or Planet Fitness. But when I did it, I immediately left, and I had such a why did I just waste like a 10-minute drive here and then tan for 9 minutes in the stand up and leave, and I'm red like a lobster, and like, what am I doing this for? This is stupid. And then I thought, how many of the boys and people who came from that era of baby oil, hot stuff, and tanning and all this other stuff now have skin cancer to deal with? And maybe if I'm going to move to Florida, I got to protect myself anyway. So why am I contributing voluntarily and paying money to do this? It's a weird shift in mindset.
Sure.
I want to be healthy. I'm working out and doing all this stuff, but as you get to be a certain age, you pay attention to more of the internal and more of the body chemistry, and your skin is your biggest organ. So what the fuck am I? I'm not training or doing anything anymore to be TV ready. And even with the light with the diffuser, I look red. I don't look brown. So what am I doing? Like I'm sure every wrestler is going to pay that price. Swinger was scared. He stopped tanning. He's like, man, my doctor told me you better be careful. You look like you're headed in that direction. And he stopped. You can spray tan. You can use the foam. You can do anything for that.
You think skin's your biggest organ, pal? Check this thing out here. Yeah, look at that thing. Yeah.
Dude, that guy, I'm sure he has it too.
Oh, yeah, dude. Looks like an old piece of shoe leather.
He's not coming to your funeral.
No open bar. WWE has announced a major match for tonight's SmackDown as Braun Strowman will be challenged for the Intercontinental Championship versus Shinsuke Nakamura. A no-build IC title match tonight to look forward to. Yay!
I'm sure they have great chemistry in the ring too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They worked each other in Japan for like 5 years straight. AJ Styles confirms he's separated his shoulders, states he won't miss WrestleMania 36. He says during the video, AJ confirmed that he's a separated shoulder following the bump he took during the WWE Royal Rumble match. Styles took an inside-out bump on a spear from Edge, landing on his shoulder. Oof. AJ took full responsibility for the injury and put zero blame on Edge, adding that he would like to wrestle him in the future. He then at Saudi Arabia, he then revealed that he was told to get out of the ring in order to be checked on, which is why he was promptly thrown over the top rope by Edge. Beth Phoenix, though, stay the fuck in there and bleed. he doesn't expect to be out for very long, and he's not going to miss WrestleMania. He says, claiming he'll scratch and claw his way there. How do you put a Band-Aid on this with a guy with a separated shoulder? If you got to build something to Mania, I wouldn't build him in a match. I'd put him in a happening, where he does the run-in to start the business the next night. Why do something cold at Mania where he could possibly not be 100%?
I don't know, but that WrestleMania check, I mean, is it subjective off of a match or an appearance, or, I mean, it's always that mysterious payoff. I wouldn't miss it either if I were him. I mean, you could put up with shit all year round. This could be the biggest payday of the year outside of Saudi. You don't miss WrestleMania if you have a chance to be on the show. And now, I mean, I don't know if you have that press release talking about it possibly being 2 days in the future.
Yeah, I don't have that up, but go ahead.
Well, that's the one in LA, I think. Isn't it LA next year?
And Graves even talked about it, like, not to put Graves over after burying him, but I think he even said, like, let's just, not everybody has to be on Mania. Let's focus on one good show instead of splitting it into 2 days where things mean less, in so many words.
Can you imagine? We used to joke about it being 24-hour show.
It is.
But here we are right now.
From Hall of Fame to NXT to fucking Access to pre-show to Mania, like to Raw, it is a 24-hour show. So with all the other, it's 14, and then add Raw, that's 17 in a weekend. So
what they need to do next time is the WWE WrestleMania should be a fucking big locust, a swarm of locusts over the fucking wrestling fans going into the fucking building with the WWE logos on each of the locusts. And then sprinkle in some ROH and some fucking Impact and other indies just to swarm in and fucking steal everything.
Pretty much.
Kill the business in like 1 week. By the way, I'll be representing Retromania Wrestling at the convention before WrestleMania.
Awesome.
I'm hoping to get 100% of my bookings from non-wrestling matches.
I'm just hoping to get booked so I can make it down now, apparently. So if you know the indie shows that are running, you want to see GGP and a hacker.
I'm driving, man. I'm not even flying. I'm fucking
Madden.
I'm
you're
doing
that
Madden
close.
Fucking Zach Baggins thing.
We might be driving too. Sideburns wants to go. So if me, him, Nick Sullivan, drive it, split it, 8 hours each. Welcome to not being over, bro. Welcome to the fuck.
Being over. I'm driving too. What are you
but from Atlanta, not New York.
Look at Stevie. Look at Stevie. That fucking high roller in his 2006 Honda Accord EX leather.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's got satellite radio not activated.
I'll get you our hookup. We got the XM. You can log in. Falcon Flynn in the chat says, "What's up?" Not my temperature, thankfully. I think I'm back to about 100 degrees right now. I was at about 102. Have I ever seen Krampus run in its demonic tradition in Europe? Yes, I have. We just saw some new video of that. And then Rick in there says, is there a horseman this week? No, I was dying, and we did a rerun, and we're going to revamp the show and restructure some things to make it more concise. And we've got some big guests hopefully lined up. Tim Alberino's agreed to come back on. Just some topics we're trying to get ahead on and make sure we have all the research done. So no horseman this week. Apologies coming off of vacation and then getting hit with the fucking Wu-Tang flu. NXT Injury Report. Trent Seven was re-aggravated a bruised larynx during his match with Finn Balor. It wasn't stated if he will miss action, but he will be monitored. Roddy Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish were all attacked during, NXT this week, and each man suffered welts and bruises. While there were no further updates with their medical status, it was noted that the injuries were consistent with being attacked by a pipe. Tommaso Ciampa, the number one contender to the NXT Championship, busted his head open during his brawl with Adam Cole, and it's been confirmed that he will require 3 staples to close. Hardcore, Stevie.
And injury report for a developmental company. TV's making everybody like, we got to turn it up, we got to do this, we got to do that. And from what I saw, everybody's got to work on their promos. I'm not talking about Ciampa and Cole, but I'm talking about very awkward Donovan Dijak,
Yeah.
Punisher Martinez, I don't know his name, Damian Priest, I think,
Yeah.
and Keith Lee, where Keith Lee's the you saw that, right?
No, I haven't seen their promos yet.
They came in and then they said, like, Donovan said something, like Damian Priest said somebody gave him the fucking classic NXT, like, something like, hey, I get what I want, whether it be a group of women, like the classic, or he goes,
Right.
or a priceless possession and points. But the pacing of it was so NXT Bailey side, you know the deal, what we're seeing on WWE. Donovan Dijak said, called him like a dollar store Marilyn Manson or whatever, which was good. Sounded natural.
Right.
Keith Lee was there. They were face to face, and he goes, well, you guys got something to debate about, and just kind of walked out of the ring. I would have been like, I'm taking both their heads on. Like, it totally wasn't, it was a miscasting. And then the other one was the girls promo or something, which just, there was another promo that was just fucking god awful, like standing up on the like promo class, but in the ring. So just put on, and they, like, that's where I don't know. They have acting coaches, they have promo classes, they have film room, they have all this shit. What is missing from somebody? You got Scotty Too Hottie down there. You got other people that have, some, not all of them, but some of them have cut promos and have charisma. Why aren't they getting it? Why is it such a cookie cutter formula?
I was just about to ask you those same words. How can you go in the ring, do that, watch your tape back, which we're all marks for our own shit, especially in developmental, and we want to get better, and that's how you do get better, watching your own shit and saying, what can I do better to a veteran, and then taking that advice. And if they are watching that shit at home and going, I fucking nailed it, they're delusional, dude. They should be watching that going, ew, I fucking suck. I have to get better. I'll never make it to WrestleMania unless I can do better than this to captivate my audience. Like, do they really think they're that over, and what they're saying on the mic is fucking gold, like something that's going to last through time, like a Piper promo? Because, like I said many times, this shit is a 6th grade talent show. And it's just parents and these marks in the crowd going, yay, look at my son and daughter up there. And like, they could go shit in their hand and they'd fucking clap for it, dude.
That's what I was going to say. These people are popping and clapping and chanting, not at you. So they can go back home and check out their DVR to say, look, you see me there? I'm doing the. No, they have to remove themselves from wanting to be TV stars and be fans. That's the first problem. But you can't say that it's everybody, because what I would do if I were somebody that cut a shitty promo, which I see more than less on that show, I'd be following Ciampa around saying, what are you doing? Because the second that guy talks, I believe what he's saying. And when you can cut a promo and you're believable, guess what they do? They shoot that Jimmy Paradise package for you, and you look like a fucking movie star.
Yep.
That's what happens. But if you cut these promos, there's no amount of editing or light or mist or fucking bulbs behind you to make it look like you're walking onto a movie set that's going to give you any credibility.
100%. They just don't know who they are. They don't know their voice. They haven't found it. You know, that's just the difference between a virtuoso who's been doing it for 13, 14 years, like Ciampa, who learned it in OVW, took it out on the road, had to fucking bust his ass, as opposed to somebody they signed and now they're teaching. And that's why you're seeing year 2 and 3 wrestlers on TV versus year 14, 15-year guys, and it's a night and day difference. It's kindergartners versus 12th graders. And that never works out well in dodgeball.
But Hunter said, just to finish it off, Hunter said that there's never going to be another Cena or another star. So this is somewhat intentional and deliberate.
How's that working out for him?
Well, outside of $200 million they lost, it seems to be perfectly fine.
Nailing on all fucking cylinders right here, hitting on it. As he alludes to it, WWE co-presidents ousted in a major executive shakeup. In a press release Thursday, WWE announced the immediate release of co-presidents George Barrios and Michelle Wilson. In the interim, Frank Riddick III has been appointed to the role of chief CFO.
He sounds like a fucking embezzler. Right
yeah, Frank Riddick III. While WWE researches for for a new replacement, as well as Chief Revenue Officer. McMahon issued the following statement. He said, "I'd like to thank George and Michelle for their 10 years of service and contributions to the organization. I'm grateful for all that was accomplished during their tenure, but the board and I decided a change was necessary, and we have different views on how best to achieve our strategic priorities moving forward. We have a deep team of talented, experienced, and committed executives across the organization." Sorry, that one got me. But the board and I... God damn it, coughing. You wanted it. You got it.
You can't cough and sneeze around Vince, man.
I know. I hate myself. I'm grateful for all that was accomplished during the tenure, but the board and I decided change was necessary, and we have different views on how best to achieve our strategic priorities. Yeah, moving forward. We have a deep team of talented, experienced, and committed executives across the organization, and the board and I have a great confidence in our collective abilities to create compelling content, engage our global fan base across platforms, and increase revenues and drive shareholder value. Yeah. Meanwhile, fourth quarter numbers and full numbers for next year are set to be released. So Q1 numbers should be abysmal. Someone needs to die on the hill and be sacrificed to the god Molech in hopes that we can turn things around, and El Barrio and El Michello live in La Vida Loca someplace else.
Guess that Kobe sacrifice didn't work out for Vince so well, did it?
Not so well, man. So.
Dude, I think he should do press conferences like that. Like, you son of a bitches. Like, I got these motherfuckers that are coming up. They're hot. They're fucking red hot.
We've got the best goddamn executive staff you've ever seen. God damn it.
Dude, he'd be like, yeah, it'd be like a Conor McGregor press conference. Fucking firefighters.
Dude, right.
You know.
So here we are, man.
People are speculating that might be part of it too.
Could be. Major stock drop. Legit $200 million overnight in value has been lost. We saw the stock go up to 120 at peak, hyperinflated, and that started at like $19. No stock has ever done that except maybe some medical and tech stocks overnight. They cashed in $190 million, $120 million, $110 million, took all the value out of it before the numbers come out, when they know it's going to be to the shits, and they had the investment and the hype and the network, and that's what Barrio and all them helped build up. They had the good run with it, but now with no new content, with Disney kicking their ass and taking subscriptions, with numbers constantly going down since WrestleMania last year, someone's got to be killed on the hill. And here's the executives that are going. But to back it up with the lie of they were the ones standing in the way of our creative and engagement and things like that, and everything's going to be fine from here on out now that they're gone, and we have these other executives that have my best interest, like not fooling anybody.
You want me to interpret that? Even though every piece of news story, WWE stock plunges after Vince McMahon ousts top execs. McMahon forces WWE executives to tap out after earning these fucking. Is he going to body slam his way into town too?
Yeah.
Fucking news. Were these two people telling him the truth? Were they not the yes men that he wanted in place anymore? Barrios has been around for a while. The other one's been around, I think, as long. Co-president. Were they starting to call him out on being out of touch Vince?
Dude, to have presidents just out of nowhere, you're gone. You know what I mean? Before Q1, like earnings come out, it's just telling of how they're sweating it around there. There's no way to not sell for that. I would have waited till the shit came out and then fired them. Aren't you stooging yourself off here?
Yeah, I'm just laughing because I can see them going, well, you know, if that's the way it's going to be and there's aren't going to be the changes that we've been proposing, this is just speculation, then we quit. And he's like, no, you're fired. You don't quit on me.
Yeah.
Like they quit, but he fired them, and that's the story.
Could be. You think either of these two could end up at AEW? I don't know if they're needed, but...
Like they're actual corporate presidents. I think they have golden parachutes. I think they've got stock.
They've got 10 years of stock and equity. Right. I'm totally out of my mind.
No, I know you're making a joke, but like what would they even? I mean, I could see them going to maybe UFC, maybe Bellator, maybe
Sure.
something to give experience with. Maybe it'll just get out of the complete. I don't know.
NFL franchise,
say.
something like that. They could go anywhere, really.
Just want to know what Bonnie Hammer's up to.
What are you wearing? Major name being reported for WWE Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. The Hulkster brother is currently scheduled to appear at the upcoming show on the February 27th in Saudi. No word if he'll make it home alive. While his current role is currently unknown, this will not be the first time Hulkster is involved with one of the company's controversial overseas events. Hogan and Flair each captain teams of 5 superstars in October at Crown Jewel, a.k.a. Blood Money 1. Getting the money. Him and Flair want it. And they got the private jet to get in and get out. They're in the, top 20? Remember that? Who got to get in there and go. I mean, who gives a shit at the end of the day? I thought maybe this might have been in Austin or something along those lines, but it'll be interesting in 3 weeks who the Never Again crew is, and then the crew who said Never Again who said, well, one more time. Will and Umberto Carrillo be on there? Will Rusev be on there?
Anything that happens to anybody from this point on, you just shame on, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. I might be dead in Saudi Arabia. Goodbye, everybody.
Right.
And let's not forget about the little Easter egg bonus of a war with Iran.
Oh, what do you mean?
I know it hasn't been on the news, so it's over. Like we aren't in Afghanistan anymore. There's nothing going on in Syria. Saudi Arabia is not completely healed. Israel's not going after Iran. There's nothing happening. So just some good old fashioned wrestling. Let's listen to Real American just to remind everybody that everything's okay. Dude, this is a fucking. You think these Saudis? Now this is the thing. I want my fucking money. Okay, cool. How about if we kill fucking 50 of your people? No, dude, well, let me get 20 out, and then you the other ones, do whatever you want. We'll send them back to the room. Oh, Trump said not to kill anybody. Okay, well, you know what? It might not be that far off from what really happened. Okay, they come home. Now, Vince got his money, and they said, okay, we'll sign a new deal and bring you back. Do you trust these fucking people? Like, you don't think they're going to hand you $50 or $70 million and then bring you back, really teach you a lesson?
What do you mean?
Vince thinks he's over with this kind of manipulation. He's not over compared to these people.
What do you mean by these people, Stevie? I'm one of these people.
You're kind.
I'm not
Does
kind.
That sound better to me?
Yeah. I'm not kind. Yeah, man, these are fucking cutthroat super billionaires out of touch with reality, who murder on the fly, who start wars. And Vince is an entertainment carny. And this is who they're dealing with. This is who you're in a partnership with now. In a CIA front for billions of dollars to blow the shit out of Iran. All Iran has to do is do one fucking terrorist hit. You think they won't shoot a plane out of the sky with 176 people on it? They've done it before in the last month.
Sorry.
Them's the breaks. All right. Dude, I don't know how you could go back in good conscience or why you would at this point without a full military. I wouldn't go on anything less than with a full U.S. military fucking brigade going with me, bro. Full.
And you know they're not going to do that.
I'd have DC-10s. I'd have fucking Bradleys. I'd have Humvees, and I'd have 60 Marines minimum, just for my own personal security. And if they don't do anything less than that, then it's still more of just putting people's lives on the line for a fucking payday in a terrorist fucking country.
Do you think in the end, Vince really actually can, or he can say that just less people to sue him after they leave, even though they were not alive anymore?
I think it's just a big cash, and he's just doing it all, right? It's Scrooge McDuck.
They literally don't care. They literally don't care.
Don't care at all.
Not even hiding the fact that they you know what I mean? There's been not one comment after this. There's been nothing. Like, I know he won't speak on it, but man, Luke Harper saw the whole thing, and I'm sure in confidence he will tell you probably some shit that would like make anybody think twice about going back over. And why would you? Why wouldn't you, if you're forced to go back over? Why not be that one person that goes public and says, they're forcing me to go back over. I don't want to go. I don't want to go because I'm afraid.
Why wouldn't you be? Especially if you're in a plane and you imagine that takeoff. Like, say you do the show, that's going to be the most nerve-wracking takeoff for the first 20 minutes you're in the air, bro. You don't know. You'd be looking out the window. Hey, what the fuck is that little red thing coming at us? And that's all she wrote.
You still wouldn't get booked.
During his appearance on WWE's The Bump, Drew McIntyre teased the fans that they'll see a whole new Jinder Mahal when he returns to the company. Drew, who won this year's Rumble match, spoke about his former 3MB teammate returning. He said he came back and made himself WWE champion, and he's so driven right now. He's about to come back, and you're going to see a whole new Jinder as well. You saw the new Drew McIntyre win the Rumble. Wait to see the new Jinder Mahal that's coming back. I don't know if I like that, bro. Why is
he talking about other people?
Exactly, man. Exactly that. Go ahead.
Oh, that's it. I mean, he's a really great guy, probably a really good friend, all that stuff. He's probably trying to give him somewhat of a vote of confidence, but I don't know if this is the place or time for it.
Or stooging it off that he's coming back. That just killed the surprise.
That's true.
And we've seen Andrade, we've seen Bobby Roode getting ready for WrestleMania and getting popped. Jinder put on a lot of muscle mass when he came back. You think he's going to be on the fucking list?
More than likely, especially if he's not if somebody from one of the other teams wants to take him out, you know what I mean, as far as that's concerned.
Oh, sorry.
It's hard to say, man. I mean, I think it's not really that hard to say because of obvious physical traits that change when you're doing stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. I'm more with you though. Why are you drug testing these guys for this stuff?
Until they start testing everybody on a movie set and TV set, and news show, and every other goddamn thing, I don't want to hear about it anymore. Get out of my business with this shit. Why do you think you have the ability or right to do this to us and fuck up our careers, fuck up our money? When you know it's phony, you want to shit on it as a phony part of the business, but we have to abide by the rules of regular sports? No.
Well, there's no implementation of fairness in wrestling anyway. It's all fake and subjective that way with the pushes. So if you're trying to level the playing field by drug testing people as if they're in a real athletic competition, you need to ignore that part and try to figure out like more about what the Ryback said. Ryback kind of quotes, not directly saying everybody should be paid equal, but let's face it, in pro wrestling, if you're at a certain level, like I was at TNA, if I'm on TV every week, there should be an agreement to give me a living wage so you don't go down the street and see me working at fucking Home Depot for the other 6 days a week. It hurts your company.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's people within WWE that work TV that are barely scraping by. And if you're not, you're making a lot of money. Now it's on you to save your money. So, but I'm saying, going back to the point about this, they're ignoring all the things that really probably do matter to make somewhat of a level playing field. I mean, if Bruce Pritchard or Paul Heyman or somebody just doesn't like your look, you're dead in the water. And that's the difference between making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and literally starving. That's an awful thing to live with.
Especially from a guy who...
You're muted.
I'm sorry. Especially from a guy making that judgment call who could never look like you could and never put in the time that you could, and they hold the fucking
that's exactly
purse
why they have
strings.
the spot.
Yeah.
There's certain people that run TV tapings in Atlanta that do the same exact fucking thing.
Indeed.
Be kind, though.
Show me one thing of kindness. Brody Lee is expected to sign with AEW and debut in March. This Stooge report's kind of been out there. He was released from WWE back on the 8th. But here's the thing. They posted Rochester, March 18th, AEW at the Blue Cross Blue Shield Arena. They booked the show just to debut Brody, which is smart with everything around there. And then this week I saw an AEW Dark, as we talked about it last week. Colin Delaney had a match, and then I saw Cheech breaking up the big fight there between everybody. So 2 guys we mentioned who I know have been long time 2CW guys, UPW guys, Rochester guys, getting their shot from the guys they've worked before. You can go on my YouTube, watch Cheech and Colin versus the Young Bucks in better matches than I've seen the Bucks have on their own show so far. So we'll see if both of them get signed. Big fan of them both. My 2CW brothers that way, and better workers than I've seen on some of their shows. So hopefully. But yeah, March 18th should be the debut of Brody Lee there.
Nice.
This is kind of weird. There's 2 stories here. I'm going to go with the earlier one first. If it comes up and doesn't fucking stall on me. MVP, these are 2 headlines, same site, ProWrestling.com. And actually, I want to say shout out to Carlos Astorga and his independent wrestling site. Check him out, Hamin media member, and they're actually putting our podcast up now, as well as hitting the marks with Jargo, Gorilla Position, doing some work with them as well. So anybody who's kind of come through from Ryan Bowman to OK Fabe to Carlos Astorga and been a fan of ours and developed their own thing, good on you, brothers, and keep going. And we appreciate you embedding any Hamin media shows from the locker room to whatever to give us that extra airplay. I've seen numbers go up, so I just wanted to say thank you to all of our affiliates, Voices of Misery, Rat Salad Review, the podcasts that are coming to us because we have a common interest and they're helping us out. So MVP reflects on returning to WWE. We're in a good space right now. MVP returned to WWE at the Royal Rumble and again at Raw last night. He spoke with the company YouTube channel about what it meant to him. He said, it's crazy because I reside in Houston. Miami will always be my home. A lot of people are asking me, are you excited about the Rumble? Of course, it's the Rumble, but I'm excited for different reasons. My little man was there. He's a massive wrestling fan. And for him to be able to experience seeing Daddy in what he calls Daddy fighting in the WWE ring and to hear MVP chants, for him to experience, my mother took me to the Miami Beach Convention Center when I was in 1st grade, and I'll always remember seeing Dusty Rhodes. I know I have a memory that will outlast me, and I'm thrilled about it. He said about facing Rey Mysterio, getting the chance to make his return to Monday Night Raw this week. He said, Rey's my son's favorite wrestler. A decade away, coming back to Monday Night Raw. There's nothing like Monday Night Raw. It's live. There's no safety net, but Rey Mysterio is without question, as legends go, you don't get bigger than that. I've wrestled Rey all around the world. The honor, the privilege, it's WWE. So to come and get the flow, and my son was watching, changes everything. We're in a good space right now. It's been a very special and unbelievable. There's the first story. 8 hours later, MVP reveals his match against Rey Mysterio was the end of his WWE career. After making his return to WWE Royal Rumble this weekend, MVP revealed that he's now calling time on his WWE career. MVP competed inside the Royal Rumble match this past weekend, being eliminated by Brock, yada, yada, yada. He says, from his Instagram, one for the history books, my final WWE match took place on Monday Night Raw against my close friend, Rey Mysterio. A great way to close out this chapter. The end of my career looms. It's been one hell of a ride. I'm not finished just yet, but soon, very soon. Thank you, WWE and WWE Inures, for all the love. What an amazing week I've had. So, translation, Stevie, to me is I'm pumped to be back. Got my cameo. I look good. Got a good pop. Got my Raw match. Got my shot with Rey. That finish was fucky, and maybe that's the one that where he goes, hey man, can I get a job as an NXT coach, or can I get back on the roster? And it's just like, no spots right now, bro. And he gets out in front of it before he quits, before they fire him, before they stooge it and say he asked for a job and they fucking said nothing available now.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know if he wants to leave Houston. I don't know if he would want to do that. Maybe he was trying to figure out if he's going to open up a school or work with Booker or do something. I mean, I don't think it has to do with him wanting to move to Florida, because if he moves back, he'd go to Miami. More of a South Florida guy.
Right.
I don't know. I think he's one of those guys that just did it. I mean, maybe when he had the match with Rey, he wasn't planning on it being his last deal. And he's still going to work indies. He's just said he's going to end soon.
Right.
I don't think it's he politic for a job. They said no, and he's jumping out in front of it. That's one time I don't think he's not that kind of guy. He would just say,
right on.
Hey, I tried, and I talked to him about it. We didn't come to an agreement about what we could do moving further. So, I'm just going to go our own ways.
it just pops me those two headlines that were 15 headlines apart from each other. We're all good. It's all over.
Now I'm going to send you, I screenshotted a couple things from the Royal Rumble. First of all, this is the whole thing. They do behind the scenes of Royal Rumble 2020. So you're looking at this, and this is their website. Number one thing is Sasha wasn't on the in the Rumble, right?
Right.
But she was backstage, and they have pictures of her backstage looking like she's fine. Like shaking hands with people, smiling, all that stuff.
Right.
So doesn't that kill it a little bit? Like, oh, you just didn't want to be in the Rumble. Not that you were hurt or anything like that. Becky had an angle with Hunter and Stephanie before, right?
Oh, shit. Sorry. Did John Hart not just message you?
What's that?
Did John Hart not message you?
No, he didn't. Why?
He's getting introduced by Chris Van Vliet tonight, and he said he might chop him in the chest. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'm just going through these pictures. Like, didn't Becky have a huge thing with Hunter as far as like an angle just a couple of years or the year before last, right? WrestleMania or last year's WrestleMania?
Or why aren't we doing something with baby girl, Paige, and fucking Game just walking by each other in the hallway?
Well, what I'm saying is like you have these people that are in angles or doing stuff, and they're just fucking showing them backstage talking like, hey, it's all fake, everybody. You got Roman Reigns sitting next to Seth Rollins at the commentary table, just hanging out together. Biggest babyface with somebody they're pushing as the biggest heel. Next thing was, dude, the one Kevin, like if you're gonna
where are
take
these pictures?
I'm gonna send them to you. I screenshot.
But where were they on WWE?
WWE.com? Behind the scenes at Royal Rumble 2020. The other one is Kevin Owens is texting, sitting there. Looks like he has fucking like quintuplets in his belly. Like, don't take pictures of people in these fucking. I mean, if I was him, I'd look at that and be like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you taking these pictures?" Like,
if that was me, I would look at myself and go, "What am I doing?"
Well, that's another thing. Like the accountability of looking at that and showing Lana backstage, like yucking it up with people that are supposed to be baby faces. Like, what are you doing, man?
This is what the new social media manager wanted. This is what they wanted out of him. They wanted to go complete opposite of what should be done.
Rowan's backstage doing push-ups, but doesn't have the fucking rat cage next to him.
Speaking of quintuplets, the Bella twins are both pregnant. That's right. Both of them, Stevie. Nikki and Bella dropped the bombshell announcement earlier in an interview with People. As it turns out, twin sisters' due dates are actually less than 2 weeks apart. This will be baby number 2 for Brie, who's married to the top WWE superstar and former world champ Daniel Bryan. Nikki is in a relationship with Russian-American dancer Artem Chivintsev. Sure. The two announced their engagement earlier this month. Wow. Congratulations. No. Okay.
I mean, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Take that, John Cena.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. There's you don't want to crap on unborn fetuses and shit, but like here we have two sisters 2 weeks apart. Maybe they planned it that way. But you know, that this shit is just like made for these fucking magazine covers, cashing in on $75,000 a piece and all that shit, man.
Oh, you mean selling the baby pictures and stuff?
All that shit. This is the only life they have left, is to be these pseudo reality stars trying to get over their own brand of everything from soaps to fucking curtains to baby wipes and shit like that now.
I want you to check I'm sending you 3 pictures right now from the behind the scenes thing.
Oh,
You'll love
God.
them.
You fucker. Oh,
But
here it comes.
do you think this is one of those things like you didn't want to have I'm just looking, I want to have a family. I want to get married and have a family. And then that was pretty quick. Not to judge. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not judging the fact that you want to have a family and all that shit. Oh, wow, dude. Baylor just sitting there with his feet up. No, that's Ricochet or Baylor. I can't tell.
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's not even Ricochet. That's fucking Roman. I thought that was Ricochet.
Oh, I'm saying that's Roman Reigns with fucking Seth Rollins right next to him.
Yep, dude. I'd fire that person from WWE.com.
That's taking the pictures.
Gotta go. Just killed my business, bro. If I was Roman, I'd be on the fucking phone. That's a candid pick too. They don't know that shit's going on. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
That guy would be gone tomorrow if I was Roman. No way you're gonna fucking blow my heat, my push like that and kill his heat for some quick .com for some marks to be able to do that.
Well, there's some more.
Office doesn't get it.
Well, there's pictures backstage of Randy Orton congratulating Drew McIntyre in the gorilla position, and then even Roman hugging Drew McIntyre in the gorilla position after the Rumble.
I know they listen to everything we do on Russo brand, obviously, and they're trying to take this idea of putting reality into it, but this is 10% and absolutely how you don't do it. This is exactly how you do it the wrong way, to kill guys fucking push, to kill their storyline. So you can have some edification of like, see, we're showing what goes on backstage. That's what the real marks really want. We're giving them the secret content. No, you have to show Brock fucking whipping a title at Vince's head. You have to show Sasha and Bayley laying on the floor throwing a temper tantrum. You need to see somebody's match get cut and them being pissed off. You need to see, trying to explain to Shinsuke or any of the Japanese girls what the fuck to do, and it's very difficult. All that. Final story of the day. Samoa Joe suffers a concussion during his tag team match this week on Raw. The incident happened during the dive to the outside where he landed awkwardly, resulting in WWE's medical staff removing him mid-match. His tag partner KO ended up going alone against the Raw tag champ Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins, the Messiah, and due to the nature of the program between these groups, many fans thought Joe's injury may have been a part of the ongoing story. That was not the case. Joe is being monitored and will provide an update on his condition when more info becomes available. That kind of sucks after he just, came back off the injured list and gets fucking shook again. Menacing, frightening. Sorry, I went into some Kanye there. But yeah, man, we talked about this on Russo brand too, of like, weren't sure if this was going to be the Terry Funk spot where he goes out and then comes back at the last minute because he didn't come back. The end of the match didn't seem fucky at all, where we looked at it and we're like, they're calling something on the fly here. They just went in it and actually were good workers and made it work and look good. Hopefully Joe can shake this off and kick out of it quick enough, man. But how many concussions has he had in his life?
Hey, man, that's a good point. And that's the whole thing too. Like, you're in that kind of concussion protocol and they take them off, but still, you almost don't want to move somebody if you think their neck is hurt too. So that's kind of kabuki right there. Like, even when a person gets a concussion and they can't really get up, you want to keep them down. But it's like the show must go on. Got to get the meat puppet out of here. We need to have a finish.
Don't matter if it's Owen Hart or if it's you with a concussion, bro. Show's going on.
But isn't it better? You just mentioned reality-based stuff. Wouldn't it be better to stop the match and say we have a concussion, match has to end, or do whatever, and we'll go cut to the commentators? Wouldn't that create a little bit more of, okay, this shit's real and it's live?
Right.
Like, we don't know. It looks too much like, I do know what's going to happen from 8 to 11 every week. I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly, once I see the matches, I know what the finishes are going to be. I know how it's going to end. I know that I don't have to miss anything. I know I can miss it and catch it next week. But if I know, like, dude, if somebody gets hurt, like, how are they going to react? And they may stop the match, or like, there's all these different things that are wild cards. You know what I mean?
And here's the other thing that pisses me off, and I talked about it with Beth already. Like, how come Joe, like, it should have been stopped, or he should have been sent to the back if he's fucked up for sure. Why does she stay in there? Because of these spot heavy Royal Rumbles, dude. There's fucking blood gushing out of her fucking head, bro. Gushing out of her head. But because she's involved in the finish with Natty, we got to do all this shit instead of somebody going, nope, you three are final three right now, final four. You're going to eliminate whoever ref, give it to them. They have to stick with this dog shit plan to get Charlotte over that didn't do any business and no one gives a fuck about, because the next night she comes out on Raw, I'm going to announce who I'm fighting. No, I'm not. I'm Charlotte. I don't have to. Oh, okay. No, thanks for wasting my time then. When the reality of whatever they were trying to do with Natty and her did no business in the payoff, really, right? So why aren't you having Beth roll out when she needs it more than anybody else? The double standard is ridiculous. I absolutely loathe, and this is one thing with Al that he did at OVW that he had to, because that's the way WWE wants it, and when he was training their kids, that's what he's going to train them to do. They go in number by number. You know you're getting eliminated by Brock. Let's say it's not this Royal Rumble. Any other one the last 5 years where it's all a spot fest shit show with New Day and fucking whoever else doing their stuff. You go in, this person's going to eliminate you. Then you're going to eliminate them. Every elimination is plotted out for a spot. When we would do Royal Rumbles with Rip would go, you're the last 4 in, you're over, the rest of you guys. Get in there, punch, kick, do your shit. Don't leave your feet, because if you leave your feet, you're a dumb bastard in a Royal Rumble, because anybody can step on your Achilles and there goes your career. Meanwhile, I have to be in Royal Rumbles now with indie goofs who are fucking throwing pile drivers and backstabbers in the fucking Royal Rumble, thinking that they're cool, when the reality is it goes against all psychology of a Royal Rumble to get your shit in to do a knockout move on a guy, because what's the point of a Rumble? Throw them over the top rope. Now you got to lift them, dead weight them, and everybody looks twice as stupid because you had to get your shit in, and you don't really know how to work the match. So all this spot fest shit to me is garbage that WWE has ruined the Royal Rumble. I'd rather see 20 guys in the ring at one time, fucking dusty elbow, boom, big punch, fighting them to get him over. Whoa, no he doesn't. Skin the cat, come back, hook a guy's leg. We didn't see any of that shit, man. I mean, I like what they did with Brock and whatnot, but I'm talking the last 5-6 years, even 10 years, because that's when I saw the WWE ones at OVW. I do not like that. It's not organic. Everything is phony and plotted out, and it doesn't have the magic that it used to when you do that.
Well, because you don't have these big guys that everybody's used to going to the outside and doing this and that, where before the guys were all monsters and larger than life, or to an extent looking like people that the everyday person couldn't do what they could do. So when you get that mass of humanity, to quote Vince, in one ring, and you send somebody over the top rope that hasn't been manhandled like that, see, that's where it needs to be. You need the reason why way back in the day that they created the right to censor, besides the fact of the Parent Television Council, was also legitimately to protect the talent and put some appreciation back into the chaos and violence. When you take it away,
sure,
via somebody you're going to get heat on,
then when you
see a little bit of that, you're like, wow, that was awesome. Mm-hmm. We need another, and I'm not saying me, please God, no, not me, but you need something or some catalyst to bring it back psychology-wise to a different time. So when you do see a Ricochet 6:30, you're like, holy shit, I've never seen anybody in the world do that before. Now you see 5 guys that do something similar within the first hour, 20 guys on the roster, 100 guys in the company that do all this shit. What does it mean? And McIntyre wins the Rumble, and of course, he's a big dude, he's impressive, he looks like this, and he can fucking throw a boot and land on his back, which coming off his feet looks impressive, but it doesn't look like the most devastating thing you see on the show, which that's what Hogan's leg drop used to be. Mm-hmm. That's what Savage's elbow would be a fucking high spot right now.
I mean, you saw Petey Williams say, sorry, guys, I never meant the Canadian Destroyer to be a transition move last week. Yeah. I mean, that explains it all. They've just shit all over this business, this next generation of those who think they're over and they can do this and that, and they think it's evolved. No, you just don't understand. You don't understand what you're doing.
I'm gonna say something that's pretty unpopular, because it is an impressive move that I would never take, because I don't want to flip backwards and have somebody else's body control my bump. What do you think looks more devastating? The Canadian Destroyer, which is just a sunset flip where you're kind of flipping backwards and maybe landing on your head for real, which even if you land on your head for real, it doesn't look that way. Or when Paul Orndorff used to do his pile driver and jump in the fucking air and you go straight and there's no question your neck is being compressed.
Yeah.
It's a pile driver, not a sunset flip into an awkward roll bump, a high German. Look at Paul. Look on YouTube. If you don't even know who Paul Orndorff is, guy, shame on you.
Yeah.
But look at Paul Orndorff's pile driver from the 80s and see how that is just, I mean, Rob Van Dam taking a pile driver from Dreamer. Does that look more devastating than a Canadian destroyer?
Well, here's the thing, Stevie, you just screwed it up, is they're all going to go watch that now, and now the Paul Orndorff pile driver will be the new transition move.
Good, because, I mean, well, but they would do it for real, and nobody would hook under the legs to protect their head.
No.
Their arms would be way out of here. Because, I mean, if we do that, then they'll think it's fake. Well, as opposed to your 7-minute international spot where you're fucking...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yalla. I heard that where Aloka re-signed with Impact and didn't go to WWE. That's strange to me. I haven't seen the story release on that. That came from William Alicia, another, obviously the leading news guy in Hamin Media Group, doing great things on Facebook. Hamin Media Discussion Group has info and intel out before any of the sheets do. So thankful for his abilities and continuation of support and everything we do, man, to get those out there. I mean, it's news and rumors, but seems like he's always got his finger on the pulse that way. So appreciate that, and all the other affiliates we mentioned earlier, and you guys dragging me out of a fucking NyQuil doze to come on over here to do your Friday locker room. You already missed the Pro Wrestling Tees sale this week to save 15%, so now you're going to pay full price, infidels, at ProWrestlingTees.com/Ben Hamin and /Stevie Richards.
Let me speak on the Taya Valkyrie thing.
I
said it in the messenger.
Let Stevie speak on this. Go ahead.
Yes, on delay, whatever he says.
Who?
How in the world? This is Morrow. Morrow's more on point. Morrow Bernal than he even realizes. This is proof that social media is a disease. Because someone you never met with 8 followers, if not less, says, "Oh, she's signed with WWE," and then you need to comment on Twitter. No. Get it right. Who gives a fuck? And if the more and callous, which I don't think Don would sell for it, if they're selling for somebody with minimal amount of followers or people that aren't in the business, they're saying, "What's this shit we saw on Twitter that jerk off 589 fucking said that you signed with WWE?" Well, no, I didn't. I'm going to sign the contract. Well, this person said so. They have 8 followers.
Yeah.
But is that, I mean, dude, that's the disease. Why are you fucking taking, I mean, I'm not talking about this, like idiots don't know what they're talking about, which is also the cryptic ones I don't like. This long.
Somebody in Russo brand in the Facebook the other day tried to bury me that I threatened Jeff because of what I said about Jeff on this week's show about missing opportunities. Nothing was malicious there, nothing was like that. But somebody recounts history and says that Jeff left the show because I threatened him with violence over a political dispute last year, and it was enough. So now they're confusing me with Bolin to start with, and they're fucking putting over that I threatened Jeff, which never happened. Why do me versus Jeff? Come on. That's like me chopping Chris Van Vliet's chest off. Like, I
think what they probably said when you said, "Oh, come to fucking, I'll give you a $5 face slap." Like that's, maybe. I'm serious, dude.
Maybe.
By the way, I still have it right here.
All right, yeah. But
like, why is a $5 still on your desk?
So, but I called him out. I was like, dude, that was bowling, and keep my name out of your fucking mouth if you're going to start telling lies about me. Otherwise, there's going to be repercussions. That's some straight Mark shit. So I don't let that shit slide, especially from them when they're going to try and fucking do it there. But for her to sell for the world for somebody with 47 followers, it exposes the sickness, like you said, of the addiction of social media, of Twitter thumbs, and these people who are supposed to be stars can't handle their own stardom when they have to sell for marks who've never done anything except cut a fucking promo on their Twitter like that one AEW fucking chin strap asshole this week. So I don't understand why people are lowering themselves and killing all the celebrity that they've spent years building to sell for something on Twitter and can't know, maybe I shouldn't do this right now. Maybe that's not the best look for me.
They tried to get Swinger on Twitter, and I said, dude, you do not want to do anything. It's his gimmick, but it's his shoot gimmick. I'm jealous of him. He can get over by not having that.
His whole thing should be fucking little things that are promos through Impact's Twitter to push his mail campaign for his fan club, for his P.O. box.
Pen Pal.
Pen Pal, bro.
Pen Pal, like the
whole thing. The whole thing.
They haven't run with it yet, but that's fine. Yeah, but dude, they all do it. Are we missing? I said it before. Am I just completely out of touch with this kind of stuff? And I said, God, I hope so, because it doesn't make me any money to do that.
You're in touch. They're the ones who are out of touch.
You know, like,
Hey, pal. Speaking of, Real Heel giving us 500 bits as we close out the show. Appreciate that. Everybody who's stuck with us, and I don't know, push me out of bed to fucking do this, and all the staff here at Hamin Media Group who's dropping great shows all week long. Stevie, what do you got going on this weekend? Anything?
Just making more content. I actually started filming some more fitness stuff up on the YouTube channel. Still doing my rehab for my arm, but I got some new gym equipment that I just got in that I'll be doing a review on. Search Stevie Richards on YouTube. We just passed 51,000 subscribers,
Nice.
so that's pretty cool. Also, go to StevieRichardsFitness.com. 12 and 16-week resistance band training programs, along with a full workout video or two up there that you can check out. If you're looking for a full home gym solution, look in the links in the description or go and check out ForceUSA.com. Enter the code Stevie5, the number 5, in there, like $5 face slap. And if you want some cardio, go to DiamondbackFitness.com. Stevie5 is the code there as well. Past 2 months, people have been using the code, so I appreciate it because it helps fund everything we do. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, new equipment you got in the mail yesterday. Looks good set up back there, man. So I'm sure you'll be putting it to good use.
Seated dip machine. I might be getting a belt squat in here too because I can't put a barbell on my back, man.
Yeah, dude, why fucking stress it out, especially coming off the elbow gimmick as well, man. Go light. Definitely want to see WrestleMania if we can get down there, have a good time, and hopefully run our mouths instead of hurt our backs a little bit more than we usually do.
I don't know if I'll ever have another wrestling booking again, and I'll tell you the truth, every week when we do the show, I don't really care. It's not where it's becoming more and more. You will have to, I hate to sound like a dick, but we always lower our value to do good business, but you're going to have to fucking pay me to have to go and put up with half this shit. You have to pay me more to put up with all of it. Like even just half of it is going to be good. So I'm sorry, man. That's just business.
Well, you can pay me half of what you would pay him to put up with all of it here at Hamin Media Group.
Thanks for hopping on.
Y'all Oski and Infidels. I won't be back till fucking Tuesday. So hopefully I'll have a little more energy. I won't cough and shit my pants, and it'll be a great day for everybody. So y'all, it's hackerhamin.podbean.com, Infidels, your Friday locker room. Sick as can be, but we're here getting down with the sickness. Y'all.